Yes, good evening, everybody. I tell you what, if you could see what goes on behind the scenes here in the advert breaks, you'd want to be involved, I suppose. Welcome back to Friday Night Feast. And here we go. We're going to be doing a big debate on this university issue. Obviously, we saw the story this week. It's one of the biggest stories of the week, actually, which is if you don't pass your GCSEs, Maths and English, you won't be given a student loan. You can still go to uni, but you'll have to pay for it yourself. And so I'm just going to bring in for a brief response now, Nadia. I mean, how was your university experience?
I didn't go.
No?
I think university is good if you want to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something that requires lots of training. But, you know, a lot of my friends went for, like, sociology and, like, I think there was, like, David Beckham studies. You know, there's just no point. Get out there, get working.
Yeah.
Get life experience.
Oh, one of the ones that's always wheeled out is brewing and distilling at Bath Spa University. But I actually am very grateful for that, to be perfectly honest with you. I think, you know, without brewing and distilling, I'd be knackered. But anyway, I'm just going to bring you in quickly. Did you go to uni?
Absolutely not.
No? Only do you feel worse off for it?
No, I think I've done all right out of it. I mean, I'm not in like loads of student debt like a lot of people that I know, so happy days.
Happy days indeed. Right, OK. Well, the reason I'm asking this, obviously, is because this week the government did announce plans to reject those student loan applications for those who lack English and Maths GCSEs, or even if they have 2 A-levels at grade E. So there we go. And it's an expensive game, isn't it? Excuse me, expensive game these days, isn't it? So, is going to university even actually worth it? It's time to debate this issue now. And I am joined by a famous face in the shape of Charlie Mullins, there we are, founder of Pimlico Plumbers, and of course Nicholas Hilman as well, Director of Higher Education Policy Institute. We're going to go hammer and tongs on this, I think, chaps. Thank you very much, both of you. Charlie, I'll start to you. You've done all right for yourself. You didn't go to uni, did you?
That's right. I mean, I think anything that the government does to stop so many students going to university for 3 years and then coming out and not being able to get a job, it's got to be a good thing. As that lady said, you know, certain things, doctors, lawyers, certain other professions, of course. But, you know, media, music, arts, and necessary is that. And you know, at the end of the day, it's the taxpayers that's paying for all this. So anything that government do to prevent people going to university, unnecessary. And then maybe they should work on, you know, getting them jobs and where there is vacancies. And, you know, it's not difficult. They can start with the skills.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that because I'm very big on apprenticeships. But, Nicholas, I just want to bring you in now. Nicholas Hilman, Director of Higher Education Policy Institute. Some people think university is just an expensive con.
Well, they do, and it doesn't work out for everybody, but it does work out for most people who go. And let me give you an example of one profession that used not to recruit graduates, but which now does. Nursing. You didn't used to need a degree to be a nurse, but all the evidence from all over the world is that hospitals that have nurses with degrees are safer places for patients than hospitals without. So I think it's a good thing that nurses are now graduates, that teachers are now graduates. They didn't used to be graduates either. And I think our society is better for it.
Charlie, you alluded to something earlier on there, mate, about practical skills. Now, I think a lot of people are stigmatised for not going to university. There's an implication there, potentially, that they must be a bit thick. And that's just not true, is it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's an old-fashioned way of looking at it. But, you know, things have moved on so advanced now. And we go back to what we're saying, that you know, we don't need 50% of people that's going to universities. Maybe cut it down to 20 or 10%. Just the real professional people that are needed. Let the other people go into a trade or a job where they're earning while they're learning, and fill the gaps that are actually vacant out there, rather than, you know, going to university and then coming out and, you know, not getting the job that they sort of studied for. I mean, It's about time the government's woke up, and I think this is perhaps the best step we've done in many years to stop it.
No, exactly. I mean, when you look around, you know, like we've all said, there are some jobs you absolutely need a degree for. There are some incredibly high-skilled things. But that's part of the misconception, in my opinion, because when I look at, for example, plumbing, that's a highly skilled job. If my plumbing goes wrong, I need to call a plumber. He's by definition, or she's by definition, more intelligent in that regard than I am. And Nicholas, does the problem start with schools? They've got targets to hit, haven't they? They've got these aspirational university targets, and if that school starts encouraging people to go and get more practical trades instead of a meaningless degree in David Beckham studies, then they look like a worse school.
No, I don't think schools are to blame for this. I mean, first of all, I think it's a good thing, not a problem, but more people are wanting to go to university. And secondly, it starts with families. So 97% of mothers say they want their kids to go to university. Now, they won't all go, and they shouldn't all go, but aspiration levels within UK families are very, very high. And so it starts with families, not with schools.
OK, that's interesting. Charlie, can I ask, was university ever an option for you, or did you just not think about it? And why not, if you didn't?
Myself?
Yes.
No, of course not. I mean, it's an unfair system anyhow. You know, more people that have come from money or privileged life, a better chance of getting to university. So it's an unfair system, and you know, all they're necessarily doing is running up a debt at the taxpayer's expense. And you know, some of their people that from a poorer background are just not given that opportunity. So if we want to all sort of start mixing together and start sort of saying things are more equal, then it's one of the best things that have happened. That, you know, stopped so many people going to university. We only need a certain amount. Let's not kid anyone. Universities just want to put bums on seats. It's a business to them, and that's all they want to do. They're not bothered that they've got a 40-year debt and they're never going to pay it back. It's the taxpayer, like myself and many other people, that has to pay for people on a waste of time course. They don't get a job after it, and we're the ones that are paying for it. So it's a no-brainer.
Nicholas, isn't there a lot of truth in that? Because let's be honest, this country now is facing down the barrel of potentially being a bit skint. And so are we. Everything's going up. The cost of living's going up. Putin might turn the taps off at some point. And actually, the government's had a look around and gone, well, how can we save a bit of money? Well, I'll tell you what. Here was a way that we were absolutely hemorrhaging it for a very long time. People who failed Maths and English GCSE or got E's at A-level being given student loans that they're never going to pay back, but the taxpayer will. And that had to stop, didn't it?
Well, most people who go to university do well out of it and don't regret it. And most employers pay graduates more than non-graduates. So there's something valuable going on there. But look, what the government has proposed this week is not particularly unreasonable. I think it's valid to say that if people are going to study at a higher level, you know, which is what university is, then they need to have a minimal level of academic qualifications beforehand. No one knows quite how many people will be affected by this policy. It will be a few thousand people each year, but it's not it's not a catastrophically bad policy. I wouldn't do it myself, but it's pretty much at the margins, to be honest.
OK. Charlie, over to you now, really, for one of the final words here. Do you actually bother when you're checking a CV for one of your plumbers, whether or not they've gone to university? Do you even look at that?
Yeah, well, look, to be honest, when we was taking people on, if you haven't got a university degree and you've been in the workplace, you've got a better chance of certainly getting a job with us than if you've just been studying for 3 years and got no experience in the workplace. So, you know, I have to be honest, on certain companies, I don't think it's an advantage at all. And especially when they're applying for a job that is non-related to the course that they've done. So, and again, I heard this chap saying about, you know, the figures say that most of the students do well out of it and they earn more money. That's nonsense. I mean, you can make the figures say what you want, but at the end of the day, you show me many people that are earning more money than some tradesmen now in London. You know, none of these bank managers and accountants and professional people, they're on a lower wage. So I think it needs to be put in perspective. And the demand out there now is for skilled workers, and the jobs are out there, and that's where the money is these days. So I think we're misleading sort of students, believing that they're going to do great out of it because they've studied a waste of time course for 3 years. Some of them will, but not all of them.
All right, Charlie, thank you very much. Nicholas, final word to you, my good man. Nicholas Hilman here now. Unis are just going to fill this gap with foreign students, aren't they?
Well, they do like educating people from other countries, and it's fantastic they want to come and study in the UK. But look, I would say horses for courses. University's not right for everybody, but it is right for a lot of people. You know, Charlie's built up a fabulous company recruiting non-graduates, but lots of companies do need graduates. So, you know, horses for courses. Let young people decide what's best for them.
Good stuff, both of you. Very, very grateful for making both of your debuts on Friday Night Feast. Hopefully it won't be the last time we talk to both of you. Charlie Mullins there, founder of Pimlico Plumbers, and Nicholas Hilman, Director of Higher Education Policy Institute. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what did you make of that? You can get in touch. Did you go to university? Did you think it was a waste of time and money? Are you saddled with student debt? Did you not go and you've done all right for yourself, like both of my esteemed panellists here this evening? Now, after the